Okay, so let me just draw this diagram, right? And we have a one router and another one, and then we have a switch, and then a couple of workstations are connected to this switch. So let me just draw the diagram. So we have a router, right? Then we have a switch, right? And then we have a 3 workstation. So we have a switch, the switch port, there's another port, okay? And then this one, obviously there's a switch and there's a local area network. So let me just draw the local area network first. Okay, so this is local area network, right? And then the IP address for this local area network, so network address is 192.168.10.0. So basically, right? And then the subnet mask is 255.255.255.0. This is class C, right? This is, as you can see, this is the first address. So if you look at this address scheme, 192.168, this is the first network address, 0, right? This is a network address. And then the first host address, which is 192.168.10.1. So typically, system admin assigns this first usable host IP address to the gateway router, this interface. So 192.168.10.1, this is gateway IP address. And then the second usable host IP address is assigned to this workstation, which is 192.168.10.2. The third one is what? 192.168.10.3, and then 10.4, and then subnet mask is, right, which is /24, right? And the subnet mask is same for all the 3 workstations. Basically, matter of fact, this subnet mask is applied to every IP addresses used in this local area network, right? And then we have another router, right? And this router also has, and then so this is the serial interface, and then there's a serial interface, right? And there's another network. There's another network. For this network, right, we used 210.210.210.0, and so the network address is 210.210.210.0. So the address for this red cloud, which is LAN, right, the local area network, the IP address is used. So that's a net. So this network address, which is the first IP address, right, used for this LAN, which is 210.210.210.0. So that's a network address. Right? And the first usable host IP address, which is 1, will be assigned to here. And by the way, this is /24. That's a subnet mask. The first usable host IP address is assigned to this node, the serial port, and which is 210.210.210.1, right? And there's another interface right here. By the way, this is /24, that's a subnet mask. And when this one is second usable, which is 2. So 210.210.210.2/24, right? So basically, this is the this network basically, right? Now, so now let's take a look at the let's take a look at the Cisco iOS command, and they use IPNet. So this is a keyword. They use IPNet command. There's a network translation. So they use IPNet, and then the command they use is the pool. There's a keyword, pool, the range. So this is IPNet pool, and then the name of the pool is CSUSB. Right? Basically, I'm looking at this command right there. So CS, and then the starting IP address, the translate IP address is, they said 210.210.210.3. That's the first IP address. And then by the way, this is one line, but I'm going to move to the next line. So 210.210.210.5. So that means the range, right? The range is, this is a starting IP address and this is an IP address. So the range is basically 210.210.210.3, right? And there's another one, 2.4, 210.210.210.5, right? So this is starting IP address, and this is like end IP address. Okay, so this is a range. The range is pool of the range. Pool of public IP addresses. When this private IP address is translated to this public IP address. Now, let's take a look at this local network. So this local network is obviously what? Private network, right? Because it's used all private IP addresses. Now, let's say the private IP address, right? Private IP address is starting from, let's say 1 and basically 2, 3, and 4, right? The 1 is just this is what? This is a gateway router's IP address. So, the private IP is starting from the 2, 192.168.10.2, and then the same thing, right? 10.3, 10.4, and now assuming that there's a more hosts, more workstations. So let's say 10.5, and all the way, let's say 10.100, right? So we have this range of private IP address, right? And when the packet is first initiate from this host with this private IP address, right? When this packet is arrived at this point, the router will translate this private IP address, one of these private IP address, to what? To this one of the public IP addresses in the pool, specified by this IPNet command, IPNet pool command. So this is what? Dynamic net translation. This is a net. Okay. And then if you look at this Cisco command, there is what? The access control list. This access control list is applied. So the name of this access control list is 10. And this 10 is also used here, right? So that means IPNet inside source and then access list 10. So what this command does, right, is 2. So basically, access control list is applied, right here. The access control list is applied, and it says, so if you look at this access control list command, right here, this one, it says access list, the name of the access list is 10, and it said permit, not deny, permit, and then the source IP address. So anything from the source IP address, the packet will be permitted. That's what they say. So 192.168.10.0, and here you have to use the wildcard mask, not the subnet mask. So zeros, this is class C, right? 0.0.255. Okay, so that means, by the way, this is what, 1111. So this is 40, right? Basically, if I expand this decimal number, so what it means is the packet with these patterns, right, will be permitted, right? So that means like anything with this pattern. So this has to be, so let me just draw the line here. Right? So anything with this network address, this, since this is all filled with 1, so this is wildcard mask, right? Wildcard mask. Any number can be possible. So that means 00000001, which is 1, 0000010, which is 2, etc. So basically, it says as long as the IP address, the network portion is 192.168.10, host portion can be anything. That's why it's called wild. It can be anything, right? That's why it's called wild, because this number can be any number. So basically, theoretically, for example, any host with this IP address, which follows this pattern. So the packet with this IP originate as a source IP address, right? Because then will be basically permitted by this router. Okay, so for example, if this PC has IP address of 192.168. Let's say 100, not 10, 100. Let's say 5, right? If this host sends a packet and to this router, the router will look at the access control list, and then it does not really match with this pattern, right? Because it has to be 10 then something. This one is 100. So we're not going to be permitted, right? So the important thing here is that they look at the source IP address originating from this network, right? So that's the basically what? That's the standard. That's a standard access control list. So as you can see, for the standard access control list, they use number from 1 to 99, and then allow you to permit or deny traffic from means source, basically. Specific IP address. And they says that the specific IP address is 192.168.10.0 and wildcard something, right? Okay, so let me just, okay, so the next lecture, first now I'm gonna start recording my lecture, and then the next one I'm gonna talk about this terminology, like I'm going to talk about this one. Basically, I'm going to talk about inside local, outside local, inside global, and outside global. Okay.